Grand day, everyone. Oh my goodness. You know, sometimes things go a little differently than planned, and that is okay. This is Chase Steele Greye. I'm your host for today. Thank you for joining us on the Daily Huddle. We have such a great conversation today. I'm really excited, and I'll let you know why in a moment. But before we go further, I'd like to start out with a little joke, a little one-liner, just to get things just to get things loosened up. And here it goes. Are you ready? It's short and sweet. If you blink, it'll get by you. Ready? It's a performer joke just for you, Carloid. Here we go. Two drummers walk past a bar. Roll that tape. You gotta think about that one. Yes, indeed. I told you it was quick. I told you if you blinked, it got right by you. I told you. Well,
drummers rolled past the bar and they became lawyers.
Oh, we got a wise guy. This guy. Grand day, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Huddle. My name is Chase Steele Greye, and I always am joined by my lovely people here on this call with Giovanni and Sorel Quiton. And as we always do, before we get started today on our amazing conversation, I want to speak to a couple of people and ask what's going on with them. And I'm going to start out with the lovely Andrea, always so perky and up and smiley. Andrea, how are you today? And no, just how are you today? I want to know how are you today?
I am enthusiastic. Because being bored is the enemy.
I heard that twice. My goodness. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to see you. Giovanni. Where are you? And who will you hug today?
Where am I and what?
And who will you hug today?
Who would I hug today? Okay. I am here. I am here. And I am going to hug a prospect today.
A prospect. Woo! I love it. Thank you so much, Giovanni. So this introduction I give today is going to be a little different because this young man that I'm bringing on, he is a great friend of mine, but it's a very specific thing, and I can't emphasize this enough. Mr. Carloid Haughton was with me on my first ever professional gig as a lead singer in a show. I have been friends with this man at least since 1993, I believe. We've stayed in complete contact, but let me tell you, Carloid is not only of the same astrological sign as me, so we just gel on many levels. He is a former professional dancer, but he is always a dancer. He's a Zumba instructor. He can make clothes. He knows how to work a sewing machine. He's a comedian. He does music. One of the most vibrant human beings I've ever met in my life. And I'm not just saying that because he's here. I'm saying it because it was a pivotal moment in my career when I met this man. And we have been friends ever since then, like consistently all the years. We have stories coming out of our ears about life and about performing. So the question today, are you moving enough, will be unpacked by my good friend, my core brother from another mother, Mr. Carloid Haughton. Welcome to the Daily Huddle.
Welcome. Nice to have me, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes.
It's good to see you as well. You look good.
Thank you, sir.
You're not aging, huh? You got that baby lotion going on there. Yeah. Everything's good right now, man. I'm glad to join you right now,
I'm glad to have you here. And I know you know about movement. And I want you to capsulize this concept of, are you moving enough? Remember, everyone, Carloid is a Zumba instructor right now. So he's moving all the time and he knows exactly what I mean by movement. But I'm going to have you unpack it in your own way and tell us what the importance of that is and how that kind of sifts through your life.
Well, moving, I mean, I do Zumba classes, like I said, to students. But you know what really gets me, what really motivates me is when I go to the elderly residential care homes for the elderly, like 84 years old, and they do sit-down exercises with a great sense of humor. You got to remember, it's only the vessel that's old.
Right.
They're still vibrant and coherent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I'm there teaching them, leg, arm up here, leg up there, what have you, you know what I mean? And it brings joy to them. And that, for me, that's enough. Even if it's just that, you know what I'm saying? It's incredible. It's amazing.
Right.
It really is amazing.
And I know you remember. Oh, absolutely. I know you remember when we were on the cruise ship together and you and I would go around and do activities and be on the mic and do the show and the bingo and all the movement. In this part of your life, outside of your teaching, when you see people around, by the way, Carloid is in Manchester, England, if you did not pick that up from his accent. And what do you see is kind of like the thing that people are not doing? Like, I'm not saying just not moving, but what could it be? What could you suggest to do more of that in different ways? Not just being
the first thing you got to start with is what you are, what you eat, aren't you? First of all, put it that way.
Yeah.
You are definitely what you eat. And my rule is to everybody that I teach is, if it's not good for your body, don't put it in there. You understand what I'm saying to you?
That's pretty simple.
No, it's very simple. This is a
I
very
like that.
Clean concept. You know what I mean? It's very straightforward. You know what I'm saying to you? But I mean, before you go into the exercise, you have to think about what you are putting inside it, because all sicknesses all food, what you put in your body, leads to sicknesses. You understand what I'm saying to you? See if you're an efficiency or a deficiency. Now, as far as moving concerned, I think everyone should get up in the morning and stretch, number one, before you do anything. And if you can get your blood flowing for like 15 minutes every day, that's fine. As long as you get your blood flowing, you'll feel better. You'll look better, as a matter of fact. You know what I mean? And the rest of it at the end of the day is down to what you eat. So if you do them three things and put God first, I got to put that in there. I don't care what anybody says to me right now. I don't feel religious or whatever.
Okay.
You get me? But yeah, ideally, yeah, definitely. At least 15 minutes a day is good. Even, let me give you something. Look, if everyone was to get up in the morning, put a sweatsuit on, a towel on, and jog on the spot for 15 minutes, that's it. Right. Get your heart rate going, sweat out the calories, the toxins out of your body, have a shower. Tell me how you wouldn't feel good after that.
Oh, I know. I do it. Yeah, you preach to the choir. I know. I definitely know that. And I 100%. Know that when you're doing your classes, what would you say? And I think I may have asked you this before. As far as people moving, you do your classes, about how many people are in each class?
About 45, 50.
45 or 50 people. I didn't realize it was that big. Wow. Yeah. Would you say there's an average range of, or there's an average of ages in your class? Do you see more people in the over 50 in your class or under 50? What do you see? It
fluctuates because I have different groups. I have like students from 19 to 26. I have a group where it's just 57-year-old school teachers. And I have a group of, as I said, the residential care home, 86 plus.
I know all about the residential care homes. I sing in some of those. It is the most rewarding things ever.
100%.
Things that they say to me, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna cry. Okay, thank you, nice to see you. And I walk away, I'm just like, wow, incredible. Yeah. So for you personally, when you're not in the Zumba class, or do you take that as your prime thing of staying in shape? Like, do you do any biking? Do you do any running? Are you involved?
Well, I do gym.
You do the gym, right? Yeah, and you're talking about weight training. We're talking about circuit training.
Weight training 4 days a week. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting because, I mean, it's been a while since you and I have been in the show together, but I know
the best times of my life, to be honest with you.
The best times of our life.
Let me tell you something. Being on the cruise ship there, let me tell you one thing I'll always remember. When you're in the port and you have 3,000 people on a ship, right? And the ship is going to be choppy. So we're leaving the port and it's a bit choppy. So obviously the ship's rocking a little bit. So everyone sat there with their sick bags, and you have to come out and go, hey, how y'all feel? Hey. And you have to get, you know how that is?
Right.
How that is to get the people like that.
You know, I was there with you. You know, when I grabbed that microphone, it's done. I'm making everybody happy. There's no negotiation, right? Nothing
Man,
at all.
What an experience.
We had a great experience, and it's interesting that you're on here as it relates to movement, because Carloid and I would move all the time. And I think that is what you and I have come to our different parts in our lives where we're still doing that. We've never, ever left that mindset of movement. I've never left that mindset. When we were on the cruise ship, I would leave the cruise ship on my rollerblades. I would go around in Greece and Turkey and all these places we were going to. I would be in the pool. You would be doing dancing. And I just really can't emphasize enough how movement is so critical, right? It makes me happy. That's just me personally. It makes me very happy to move. And I think that many people are so used to not moving that becomes their normal. They're like, no, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm okay. This is what I do every day. And I think about you a lot as it relates to movement, because I'm not even going to tell everyone your age, but you're so young to me that I can't even imagine people who are in their 40s who are like, I think you said it to me. Sometimes in the class, you're doing your moves or whatever, and you're looking at somebody 26 and they're like, oh, I got to sit down. And you're like, man, wow, you know, and it's hard because you don't want to judge them, but you also realize the potential.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I know you see that from your perspective as a teacher when you're looking at the class. Is there something or a way that you can motivate people verbally, or you pull them aside after the class? Like, what do you do? How do you connect with that?
You see, the thing is, you only get one temple, you know, one body, you know. You only get one. You have to want to look after yourself. You can always motivate and encourage people 100%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying to you? But if they don't want to do it, trouble.
Right. So you don't really mess with it that much. You pretty much let it be what it is.
That much. I've come from your advice. If someone's doing wrong, I will correct them.
Right.
You know, and tell them what they need to do. If someone comes in my class that's overweight, I always make them inclusive, so they feel, you know, inclusive in the class. So you're not, you know, you're not going to sort of like the fit people. You're going to the ones that are really unhealthy, you know, unfit, and you give them some advice that way.
Right. Absolutely. So you were talking earlier about giving people advice to move or to keep moving, but in general, in a wider scope of things, if someone who's completely not moving right now, like they're more sedentary than anything else, what would you say to them to begin outside of what you just said, which is great advice, you know, doing that 15 minutes in the morning, whatever? Do you think that there's something outside of that they could be doing? Or do you think it's all, I mean, that physicality, but do you think it's mental and physical? You see what I'm saying?
It depends, yeah, because on the big scale of things, you have to understand, you know, some people never get out much.
Right.
You know, like I always question my students. What are you here for? Are you here to get toned? Are you here to build muscle? Are you here to have a good time? Are you here to socialize? Number one.
Right.
Number one, I think socialism. Because some people there are just by themselves, and they come out and just to talk to someone is a great thing.
Right.
That
right.
will motivate you to start looking after yourself. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of different reasons really why, you know, a lot of advice to give people as far as that's concerned. First of all, you need to socialize, because if you're a loner and no one's encouraging you, it puts you on a down, if you understand.
Oh, 100%.
So
100%.
That's why I think it's important that we all encourage each other. Like, I'm sure, is everybody here on the Zoom exercising and eating well? Be honest.
Put a hand up in the
Put
chat.
it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Because let me tell you right now, people, in case something that you didn't know, every single product out there on the market has sugar in it. What is sugar doing in tuna? Are you kidding me? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying to you? So, because sugar is addictive. Sugar is more addictive than cocaine, in case you don't know this.
Right.
So be careful what you eat. Drink a lot of water, fruits, vegetables, and try and stay away from the meat. My advice, that's my advice though.
Right. No, I totally get that.
Chicken is always good. Fish is always good, but fish got a lot of mercury in it, so you got to make sure you drink like. I boil garlic and ginger and drink, and you know what I'm saying, to cleanse out my system.
I like that too. Yeah, I like.
I do have a naughty day, a cheeky day where it'll chuck up bar now and again, you know, a candy boy, you know, but once in a while.
I've known you for so long, and I still can't listen to you and not be fascinated by your accent. I can't do it. I can't do it.
It's funny, man.
Right. So does anyone have any questions for Carloid as we move into the last 8 minutes or so? I figure we will still stop on time unless we can have a little bit more time. I don't know. Does anyone have any questions or anything for Carloid, who is coming to us from the UK? There it is.
Hey, Carloid.
Ronald.
How's it going, guy? I guess, I'm relating this question to my nephew, for whom I'm excited, who's going to go on a tour pretty soon, in Europe. And he's going to be performing, for whole Europe. So I'm like, what do you think as far as keeping him grounded on the road? You guys experience performers, entertainers, as far as physical and mental attitude I'm just, I will be basically taking the message to him, but you guys are experienced. I think the best thing is to do it. Like I said, I really probably put you guys in touch with him, but I'd like to know what keeps you grounded on the road, physically and mentally.
Interesting.
What would you say, Chase? Mentally and physically, because being, as you know, being a performer, there's two different sides of being a performer. There's the people that really focus on their artistic and what they're doing, and then there's the other side there where all the, I don't want to say drugs, sex, alcohol, if you know what I'm talking about, Chase, right?
Yes.
So you have to be grounded before you can do anything. Number one, for me, that's what I would say. Right, Chase? What do you think?
Yeah, I would say that, and again, you and I are so similar in this way. When we were on the road, when we were on these cruise ships and we were moving, we were so visible to everyone. Exactly. We were always on the stage, and it gave us a certain responsibility, right? I had a girlfriend, man, that stopped me from a lot of trouble. That was awesome. But at the same time, being grounded was, I just think, if he goes and does what he does, he should really take it seriously and even work on his art while he's out, because there's these distractions, again, it's back to movement, walking, biking, running, blading, going to see museums, making sure you're listening to new music, practicing your acts, these things that keep you engaged. That would be my advice, because I've been on the road with people that all they do is perform, eat, sleep, and indulge in debauchery.
You can't.
That's all they do.
You can't do that.
That's all they do.
Yeah, that's very wrong. That's unhealthy.
Right.
So unhealthy, and anybody can do that anyway. And so, what makes you an individual as an artist? You know what I'm saying?
Right. The movement. It's all back to movement again. Yeah. I think that's the best thing I would say to him. Stay in movement, man. Stay curious. Walk around. Touch things. See things. Pick up things. Buy little things. Really be active. That would be the best advice I would give.
Is he God-fearing?
This is battling with his spirituality right now too.
I hear you, because that would have been the key.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, right? When I say that, I'm not going to go too much into that, but for me, it's a conversation for another day.
That's another conversation. I know you can open that up too. I know you.
I'm not going to open that up. I'm not even,
Got it.
Thank you so much, Ronald.
Thank you.
Anyone else before we start to roll out? Anyone?
What's Andrea? Is it Andrea? Okay, Andrea. Hi, how you doing? Where you from? Where you from?
I'm originally from Colombia. I live in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyone? All right. So, Carloid is an interesting guest, because I literally have only tapped into like 11% of Carloid just now. Like, that's how fascinating of a human being he is for me. So I'm going to have Carloid back again, because there's some other things I want to discuss with you about the entertainment world, about what we've been through I think a lot of insights that are also spiritual and can be kind of weaved into everyday life for people who are not performers.
Yeah, creativity for me, and it's everything. I like to create. Like, let me show you something I'm doing right now, right? Not to change the subject, right? But real quick, while I'm sat with let me show you this. Can you see this?
Oh,
can you see that closely?
okay. Somebody's picking up.
Yeah, it says many are called, but few are chosen.
Ah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a shirt that I'm working on right now. But anyway, we'll talk about that next one.
Yes. Carloid is one of my most highly adept creative connections in my life. So I want to bring him back because we have a lot of other stuff to discuss. But if there are no other questions, I really appreciate you being here, my brother. You know I love you. Like cook food in the summertime. And I definitely appreciate you being here. I appreciate all of you coming here. And of course, before we leave, we go over the tenets that make this whole thing come together. I love to speak about them because I incorporate them in my life. First and foremost, live fully, right? Laugh out loud. Make sure that you give to others. Make sure you're sleeping a good 5 to 7 hours or more. So good for you. Also, remember to eat mostly plant-based.
Yes.
So important.
Yes.
So important.
Surround yourself with positive people, man.
Yeah, we could add that to the list any day of the week. Exactly. And of course, please check yourself before you wreck yourself. It's so it's so important. Thank you all for joining us today. It's always a pleasure. I love being here with all of you. I mean that from the heart of my bottom. I mean the bottom of my heart. And I will I will connect with you all again very, very soon. It's been a pleasure. Have a spectacular day.
Thank you, Carloid. Thank you.
Bless you, man. God bless you all. Peace, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you, guys.